No, are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you gotta. Jeez,
That was the
all
thumbs
right.
up.
Hello.
I thought you were saying thumbs up from me. Hello, everybody. I'm your Fate Master, Logan Hanley, and welcome to the Initiative Order. Today, in our next session of the Trials of the Damned. Now, before we get started, quick shout out to our sponsors. The first being Session Zero Clothing. You guys head over to there. I believe we have a code that we can use for certain percentage off. We also have roaming player gear. You guys can head over there for all of your D&D and tabletop needs. And then also for some amazing dice action, head over to Norse Foundry. I believe we also have a code down there in the chat somewhere for percentage off your next order of dice. I had got these awesome I can't see them. Bloodstone dice, and I can't wait to roll them tonight. But yeah, very quickly before we get started with our tale, we're gonna go through and do some quick character introductions. So why don't we start with Danny? You go first.
I am Therg. I am a 6'3", broad, very quiet individual. You see me wearing leather armor, a big cowl. I have a large scar across my eye from where I was recently slashed, but it's healing slowly. I have a very large sword strapped to my back, and a couple little pouches on my belt with what appear to be scrolls inside that do very wondrous things. I'm a quiet man. I tend to look pissed off most of the time, but that's because I am. Not really a fan of authority, so don't try and tell me what to do, because yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Next up, Luke. You're muted.
Nifehl, and he's probably somewhere in the ballpark of 6 foot, but he's awfully hunched over and sort of mangled looking. He's wearing pretty putrid, kind of scrubby looking, maybe leather armor, it's hard to tell. Leather, flesh, what's the difference? He's got bones and teeth in the form of necklaces and rings, different types of jewelry hanging from various parts of his body, and he's got a staff, but it's more like a stick, and he's got a donkey, and he just kind of sits in the background, waiting.
Awesome. Guilty. Waiting.
Alright. Hello, I'm Guilty Cosplay, and tonight I am Törn. Törn is a child of Nechrubel. Grew up in the sanctuary in the Great North. Worships Nechrubel, which is, super fun, super into death and stuff like that. She constantly has snacks in the form of maggots and worms crawling just beneath her skin. She has great gambling debt and a betting problem, and is very into making jewelry out of teeth. So Nifehl, we're going to get along swimmingly. Yes.
Awesome. Abhorred.
Hey everyone, I'm GW. You can find me on IG and Twitter under GW005. You can also find me on Fable42. Also, you can find my voice on Clarion Dawn, which is a cool sci-fi audio podcast. You can find it on clariondawn.com or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And tonight, I am playing Abhorred Returns the Truth. When you look upon me, you see very, very pale one, as I am. I'm long and gaunt, yet I move with a certain grace. I have long, wet streaks of curly hair that just seems to fall in the most random places. My face is covered in eyes and eyes and eyes. You can never have too many eyes. Ah! I am covered in a dark putrid leather with a cowl of long, wet, almost seaweed type material. I may not smell very well, but I'm a really good friend. Speaking of friends, I love making friends. Once you and I friends, there's no turning back. I am happy to be here with you today.
And last but not least, Bree.
Hi everyone, my name is Brianna Flame. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Brianna Flame. But today I am playing Kutz, the Gutterborn Scum. She's a very tall, thin woman, always has a dagger out, so keep that in mind.
Awesome. Let's get started. Kutz and Törn. After stopping the illustrious alchemist and goblin maker Nagel Krat from spreading the goblin curse across Galgenbeck, you, the remaining of the damned, exited the great city of Galgenbeck and returned to the fallen noble Jota Kleffenheim to claim your reward. Pleased with your work, she invites you two to stay at her estate and pursue other contracts with her. Over time, your friends, Gotvin and, oh my gosh, I forgot the other two. Gotvin and the others pursue other interests and leave the estate. But word spreads from your friend Logan, one of her former associates, a pale one, Abhorred, is coming to join you, along with two others that Jota picked up along the way to help embolden your party. She introduces you to these new individuals. You guys get together, and after spending a number of days waiting for your next contract, the five of you are called into her chambers. As you enter her main gallery, a shell of a once great manor of a bygone age, you see her running back and forth, ushering servants, giving commands, and an almost eager-like joy, a joy that would split the dull gray life that is beyond the walls of this hall. As you all step forward, she sees you, sits in her small throne of sorts, and beckons you forward. Yes, it's time. I have a new contract for you all, if you so wish. The reward is, let's say it makes what you did for me in Galgenbeck look like a child's errand.
Well, that sounds interesting. More goblins?
No. I've been thinking of expanding. I need a summer home of sorts. And I have a new place that just came up on the market.
Oh.
Yes. You see the hermit, Sven, after years and years, has finally passed away. His home, small shack, only a few miles from here, is now open. I wish for you all to go scout out the area and see if you left anything good behind.
I think that would be a perfect idea. I can't wait for the trip. And I look over at Törn and just give the biggest unnatural smile.
Excuse me, but this seems below our pay grade. That hermit had nothing interesting going for him.
Oh.
I'm not in life, maybe, but he dabbled with the esoteric arts, and from what I've heard, is known to be a manipulator of the flesh.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so?
Can
Yeah,
we
I
eat
could-
anyone who gets in our way?
Well, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
Then
Might I
I'm
have
in.
the teeth, please?
You're
Keeping-
still on about that teeth thing?
I'm telling you, there is definitely a market for teeth jewelry.
Is it a, prosperous market, or is this like barely breaking even type thing?
Trends are about to change. People will realize my genius.
So if we find like really good teeth, like send him to you.
I'm not saying I'd pay for them, but if you're not using them.
Well, mine I will be, but if I find anyone else's.
Much obliged. And if you know anyone who's trying to be intimidatingly stylish,
You look at Yoda's fingers as she's sitting there, and you do notice that she does have a couple of these newly crafted torn teeth and bone rings. A way of giving thanks to the work you did in Galgenbeck, and also probably stopping the consistent talking of teeth jewelry. She kind of flashes it toward you all and nods. Yes, any teeth and any bone and any flesh you find is yours to keep. As well as any wealth. I have all that I have here, and all that I need here. I just need the home.
and payment.
Okay.
Payment is in the wealth of Sven. Whatever he had remaining inside his home. Like I said, I have no use for it. It is all yours.
So if we're going to investigate this home and pull anything out of it that we'd like, and encounter any deviances in the physical realms that we might, why would we then hand the property over to you, my lady?
Well, from my understanding, Sven accrued quite the wealth, which you could then use to buy your own property. That's the contract. Any wealth is yours. The shack and whatever is inside is mine.
Quite a contract when we're not getting paid.
Not up front, no, but I assure you, you will be
Alright.
well rewarded.
Oh, it's something to do. I'm up for it. What about you? Quiet one, over there. What happened to your face?
Both of them.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Oh, okay. So is it like a knife? A sword?
A large knife.
A really sharp femur. Oh. What's
Let's
like?
just say they struck once and they didn't strike again.
Ooh.
Like that.
Is it because the
And-
first time knocked you out?
No. It's because I struck him back.
If you say so. You know, maybe if you had some mandibles around your neck, people wouldn't be slicing at you with swords so willy-nilly. Just saying.
I'll
I
keep
have
it
a
in
neck
mind.
suit.
We shall see.
Ligon was right about you, you know. Since I've seen her after your travels, she's a little different, and I like it. I can't wait to see how much I change around you.
Wow. What can I say?
Well-
Kutz is a great influence.
Aw. But don't worry, new friends. We'll keep an eye on you.
And Abhorred just kind of dies in like awkward laughter as he gets the joke. And you see him kind of like when he like kind of like rears back and is just moving around. You would think he would lose the balance for how far he goes, but it's almost like gravity is different around him, and every movement he makes, though it is kind of twisted, it is very elegant. Interesting. So, who wants to lead the way?
Do you want to, Törn? Is that what you're saying right now? Oh, why are you? Oh.
Oh, I think we
Nifehl.
used to do in the Great North. Nose goes first.
Ah, bing. Now look, I'm going to say, Nifehl, you're normally good with these things, and I haven't, been around you for too long. I think it would be fun for you to lead the venture.
Sure. We can go somewhere.
All right. I'm gonna start kind of making my way out. Do we know where this place is where we have to find this home? Yeah.
You know about where it is. You know the general direction. None of you have been there before, but it's not far. So you'd imagine if you go in one direction, you should be able to find it. Wasteland is pretty flat, and you can see, for the most part, pretty far.
Roughly, when you say not long to get there, like a day, 2 days.
It'll take you the better part of the day navigating Wasteland to get to the shack.
And what time of day would you say it is right now?
It's a little bit before noon, so you'll get there arguably right before nightfall.
Does Nifehl's donkey speed us up at all?
Unfortunately, it is but a pack mule.
Say that. He's not just a pack.
Well, he just carries all my flesh and bones and teeth and things, so.
Yes. I'm sure he has hopes and desires like the rest of us.
He doesn't need them.
Well, neither do we. So.
Fate Master,
Yes, Abhorred.
I have a very dangerous question to ask you.
Ask away.
Do I happen to see a duck around here?
A duck. You do not see a duck, but a goose.
Is it my goose?
It is your goose, Törn, from your helm.
Abhorred, all of a sudden, like kind of eyes wide open and like kind of angry. He's gonna he all of a sudden gets really fast. Like it's not like running, but it's just like almost like he's like gliding around the floor, and he begins to circle Törn. Is that your friend you have there upon your head? Is that your friend, huh?
Who? Oh. Yes. This is, Well, he hasn't quite told me his name. So far, it's just honk. I think there's an umlaut on that.
Does he have hopes and ambitions?
Oh, yes. He would like to see the world.
When Abhorred hears the honk, every eye on his face opens. You can hardly see the pale skin. So many eyes open so wide as I begin to continue to circle around Törn. Well then, Törn, let's make sure your friend here can see the world and get back safely. And then I will like while still staring at the goose, I will like float. Well, not float, but I'll kind of like glide away along the ground. And I'll continue to follow Nifehl.
All right. Nifehl, give me a presence roll, please.
The first roll of the night to see if you can safely navigate the wastes.
11.
11. As you journey throughout the day, you see many, many interesting creatures. Go ahead and roll me a d6, please.
4.
4. As you come around a bend, you see maybe not so far out the shadow of the outline of the shack looming on the edge of all of yours vision. But in between you and that, running through some of the brush there, you see a giant boar. Maybe no more than a couple 100 feet from you.
Ooh.
Hey, Törn, do you suppose that it has hopes and visions?
Woohoo! Yes, of course.
It certainly has teeth and bones and flesh.
And you can see it. It's got these two kind of long, like ram-like horns. And then where its snout is, where it's rutting, you can see it pulling up dirt and brush. And you can see not only a set of almost like giant canine-like fangs coming down from the front, but on the sides where his, where its, what are those called? Molars would be. Yeah, where his molars would be, you see not one, but 2 tusks kind of protruding from both sides.
All right, taking the hint, I would like to cast Daemon of Capillaries.
All right, go ahead and roll me a presence check. DC 12.
Get a 9. Can I use an omen?
You can use an omen to reroll that.
Wait, I thought it just added 4.
Oh, you can reduce the, what do you call it, by 4. That is correct.
Aha.
Yeah, so you can reduce the test by 4. So instead of being a 12, it would be an 8. So you pass. So go ahead. What does that do?
Daemon of Capillaries. Each creature suffocates for d6 rounds, losing a d4 hit point per round.
All right, go ahead and roll your d6.
4 rounds and 2 HP per.
All right, so for the first round, it lost 2 HP, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then I need you to do me a favor and roll a d6 for me as we get into initiative. 3. So it will go first. I believe. Let me double check. Yep, it will go first. So seeing you, it will charge. It will charge toward you all. Nifehl, you being kind of taking the lead with Törn next to you, it charges toward you. I need you to make an agility test or a defense roll, please. So you'll roll a d20 and add your agility to the test.
5.
5. All right. Are you wearing any armor?
I am medium
All right.
armor.
So you're gonna roll a d4 then, and let me know what you got.
2.
2. So you're going to take no damage.
Excellent.
As it attempts to gore you, it gets into and digs into your armor taking the blow, and you can feel the tusks penetrating you're starting to poke into your flesh, but not doing any damage and not breaking the skin. I need all of you to roll for initiative. And the way that initiative works is you roll a d6 and you add your agility modifier.
Oh.
Ooh.
All right. Therg, how'd you do?
4.
4. Törn. 5. And Abhorred.
7. Can you believe it?
I can. Kutz.
6.
6. And Nifehl.
8.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look
All right. All right. So, Nifehl, as this beast cuts into your leather armor or your flayed skin armor, whatever you're calling it now, you have a moment to react. What would you like to do?
Well, shoot, I suppose I should thwack it with my stick.
All right, go ahead. Whack away.
He didn't say whack. He said thwack. I heard
I
the
did
T.
say, I did say thwack.
Thwack,
All right,
thwack away.
All
Thank
right,
you. Thank you
no
for having my back.
I got you. I got you.
Go ahead and you're gonna roll a d20 and add your strength.
That's just 8. 8.
An 8. So you swing out and it bounces off one of these horns. It does not look like it does any damage. It kind of ruts around. It pulls its tusk from you. Its eyes kind of glowing this like bloodshot red as it's staring up at you, rearing back for another blow. However, Abhorred, seeing Nifehl in danger, what would you like to do?
I see him in danger as I normally see everything. However, a multitude of my eyes is still on the goose. Let's see. I will. Oh, you're gonna like this one, Fate Master. Abhorred gracefully takes a very interesting-looking whip from his belt that was hiding underneath his long, exaggerated cloak. This whip has runes written on it, in glowing purple, so the entirety of it is glowing with interesting power. I release the coils as they fall to the ground with it still in my hand, and I'm going to I'm going to attack the boar, but I think I'm going to slip and attack the goose by accident.
Not my goose.
Wait, are you really attacking the goose?
This
Yes.
is war.
Oh, wow. Wow, Abhorred. Jeez.
We do remember Abhorred's thing with birds.
I know.
Birds.
I know.
All right, so that is a D20 roll plus
Your strength.
strength. All right, here we go. So that is going to be 13 total to hit. the
13
goose.
total that will hit the goose. Can you do me a favor, Warren? Can you do me a favor and roll a d6 for me? And then go ahead and roll your damage aboard. What'd you get?
3.
3? All right.
So the damage on this is going to be this. By the way, everyone, this is called my. Get ready for it. Necroplasmic shockwave. It's fine. And it does 1d4 plus 1d4 necrotic plus 1d4 slashing. So get ready for that.
You can't kill my goose. It's already dead.
We'll see what the dice say. Oh, well, we'll see what happens.
I don't know that. I'm just making it up.
Oh, okay. I almost believe you. I don't know if it's dead or not. So that's going to be plus my strength. So
No, you do not add a modifier to damage.
okay,
It's just the attack.
Gotcha. 1 slashing and 2 necrotic damage. So 3 total.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Törn, I need you to roll me a d4 because the goose is broken. It is the first thing in this the entirety of the Trials of the Damned to become broken, and it has to be this goose.
I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention that I am aboard? Have you forgotten?
Wait, you roll the 4 on the d4.
Yes.
You watch as Abhorred takes the whip, eyes the boar, lashes out, but as he does, his front eyes close, and he swings almost like Jedi style toward the goose. The whip cracks. You hear a and the goose that you have on your helm, you can see the head slump forward in front of you, Törn. Honkers. The goose helm is dead.
Oh, my dear, I'm so sorry. It must have slipped. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I end my turn. I'm done.
All right. Yeah. So, Törn, unfortunately, the abilities that you gain from wearing the helm are no longer active. The goose being the magic proponent of that. Kutz, your turn.
I didn't know it actually gave you stuff. I thought it was just a goose on your head. Oh, no.
I honestly don't remember what it gave me, but it saved
Awesome.
my life once by flapping its
Well,
little wings. So.
It's done its job.
Watching all that just happen, Kutz is gonna be like kind of taking out one of her daggers, just be like, a lot to unpack there, and run at the boar and try to stab at its side.
It was
Go
an
for it.
accident. I didn't mean to.
It's plus my agility.
Plus your strength. All melee is strength based. All ranged is presence based.
Got it. Okay, that's gonna be 17.
17 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage. I get to roll for
And I believe
his armor.
for knife that was a D4. Was it
A
correct?
D4, correct.
Perfect. 4.
4. So you slash into him. You tear through the very, very thick and coarse hair that he has packing over the front, and get a nice cut in there. As you do, you kind of step back and continue to look over your shoulder to see what Törn's reaction is. Törn, it is now your turn. Go ahead and give me a D4 roll for the suffocation of this boar, please.
Wait, the first one I had didn't persist?
Oh, does it not? It's a D4 per or each round, I believe.
Is it? Okay. This one is 1.
Let me double check. Learning new spells. This is Matt Damon of Capillaries.
Matt Damon of Capillaries.
Yeah, it was a D4 each round. Okay. 1 hit point it is, and it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Can you remind me what my goose did?
Your goose.
Besides improve
man.
my life.
Oh man, I'd have to look it up. Give me a second.
Be my best friend.
Be your best friend. It ate your maggots. Oh man. Oh man.
Well,
I gotta
good
look it up.
thing you have extra maggots on you for your new friends to eat.
Where is my Mork Borg stuff?
Love you.
I believe it added something to your armor.
Did it?
I think. I'll look it up. Wow.
Okay.
I'll look it up
I
in a
just
minute.
don't want to. I don't remember if I changed my stats because of it, and I don't know if I should change them back.
No, it didn't. It didn't add anything to your stats. I don't think.
Okay. All right. Great. How does the boar look?
The boar or a board?
The boar.
The boar is looking. It's pretty shaken. It's not. It's bleeding. It's got a couple good hits, or it's gotten a couple good hits, and it looks like it is kind of choking and as it's as you're making your way, or as you guys are cutting into it and stuff. But it doesn't look like it still looks pretty hardy.
Okay. I don't really have a good weapon to hit it with. foul psychopomp does? That summons zombies.
That's the
though.
one that summons the zombies, correct?
I
Did not do
love that one. I love it.
Could I use? Well, let's see if the spell happens first. I'm going to try to cast again with an infernal or foul, whatever it is, scroll.
Ooh, okay.
Whatever the bad ones are.
Unclean.
15. Unclean.
13?
15.
15. Yes, that succeeds.
Okay. I'm going to do Lucifier's levitation.
Ooh, that sounds
for
fancy.
6 rounds.
Okay. So you hover kind of slightly in place.
Can I choose something else to hover?
Yeah, you could.
Abhorred.
Yes. Hi.
You're now hovering off the ground.
How high off the ground am I?
You normally levitate yourself, but this is an additional levitation on top of that, so maybe about 6 to 10 feet.
Oh my! I can see you all from up here. Oh, this is nice. I feel so safe and cozy.
You are in time out.
Time out. But for whatever reason.
Chaining that with the response. I think that's all I can do.
All right. That's all you can do. Therg. Yes, that's all you can do. No, you cast a spell. I mean, you can move around if you want, but you can't attack or anything.
Okay.
Therg.
So, watching all this unfold between Törn and Abhorred, Therg, who's been stood at the back quietly, he kind of sighs heavily, feeling a bit pissed off, and he'll step forward, he'll pull the Zweihander off his back and be like, let's get this over with then. And he'll step forward towards the boar, and anyone close enough to watch, he's 6'3" and broad, so he's got kind of a presence that's a little bit overpowering to some people, but you can see as he walks forward, he's wincing a little bit. He's kind of going as he walks forward, and he's going to attempt to do a full downward slash on the boar.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an attack roll, please. D20 plus your strength modifier.
That's 19.
19. Go ahead and roll your damage for me, please.
I hope it kills it. Ooh, 9.
9. So, as you cleave through, you go for where the head is, and instead of cleaving it at the neck, you cleave it right down the center, splitting it in half, and you watch as almost perfectly symmetrical the face peels away on either side and falls prone before you. And you are out of combat.
As I'm still in the air, you all just hear some like slow, wet clapping. Oh, how marvelous! That was great, Therg. That was great to watch. You're very strong. You are. And I'll look at Törn. I'm dreadfully sorry about your goose. I swear it slipped. It's a new whip. I've never used it before. Wait, does Törn honk at me?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Like, oh, can I come down now?
Soon enough.
Okay. And Abhorred will just stay in timeout. It's kind of like floating in the air. I don't know if I can like actually like move myself and fly, but I'll just like be there
You can move yourself a little. You don't have a whole lot of control, but you can. And after about a minute, everybody starts kind of heading. You guys can see the shack in the distance. And you all begin heading there aboard a little bit slower at first, and then finally you drop with a thump, and then float back up and readjust and continue on your way. You get to the small shack, dilapidated old wood. It smells of rot, and you can see that in places the shingling on the roof is broken and needs plenty of repair. Some of the windows there's a couple windows on either side. The glass, kind of that opaque, kind of milky white from dust and lack of cleaning. The door sits in front of you.
Do we
go on now? Open it.
All right. Nifehl, you go and grab the handle, turn, push it open. It opens with You step in, immediately met with the smell of rot and decay. Is on the center of the floor, this pile of viscera, decaying limbs, rotting flesh. The smell is unbearable, though to you, it's kind of satisfying in a way. As you all step in, the light from outside illuminating this chamber within, you see the small shack, maybe no more than 20 or so feet by 20 or so feet. A pile, like I said, of dead and rotting refuse in the center of the room. To the right, next to one of these windows, a small planted tree growing and ivy branching from it and onto the walls. Before you, on the opposite side of the chamber, mirroring the door that you went into, is another small archway that looks like it leads into a stairwell going down. A small orange carpet at the base or at the top of the stairs.
Do the Hermitage taste?
Yes. Speaking of taste, I'm hungry. May I have a couple of snacks, my new friend? Please.
Fine. Hand over some creepy crawlies.
As I kind of like crawl all over my hand and I kind of like flip around, I just kind of like grab them. Oh, quite tasty, thank you. You're just kind of a walking cafeteria, aren't you? Yeah.
Does anyone else need a snack?
Actually, I don't need one, and you'll start hearing the scurrying of slight paws that come up and around, and 3 tiny monkeys that have been following Kutz from a distance are now near her.
What?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, my darlings. Here you go.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Abhorred loves them.
They all kind of scurry up and they're,
Oh my. Oh, adorable.
They almost turn, they have this cuteness to them as they approach and grab, but as soon as they have food, it's like, what movie is it where they turn around and the kid has like razor sharp teeth and just like mauls them? They turn into almost little demon monkeys once they have the food that they want.
Yeah.
But you are all in this chamber.
The refuse on the floor.
Yes.
I'd like to poke around.
Sure.
I'm gonna. I like how you held your breath, like, yeah, okay.
I was waiting because I heard you wanted to say more, so I was going to say something, and then I stopped myself.
You all see Abhorred just kind of gracefully glide over. Of course, he has his whip back on his belt, but from behind him, he will pull this gnarled wood. Actually, no, it's not gnarled wood. It's gnarled bone, because it's a femur. I am going to poke around in there.
Okay, go ahead and give me a presence check.
It's not good to play with your food.
Well, you know. Oh! I'm gonna use an omen. Let me mark one gone. Oop.
Okay.
Let's try again. Well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. 10 total.
10 total. That is enough. Poking around, most of it is liquidy and kind of mush, and so it's easy to siphon and move through and find solid objects. The three things you find is you find another bone similar in size to yours, probably either a femur or whatever the one in the arm is. I don't. Ray would know. Unfortunately, I don't because I'm not a doctor. And then you also find 5 silver pieces. And then you pull out as well this rusted iron knife.
A knife, you say?
Yes, it's been heavily rusted and is just covered in this viscera as well.
Do I happen to see any of my my teammates get excited about this knife? Well, perhaps I don't. Kutz, your name was.
Yep, that's me.
Do you want this? I don't much use these.
Ooh, I won't say no. Thank you.
You're very welcome, my dear. Let's see if we can find more goodies along the way. I'm going to kind of glide up to Nifehl and kind of put a gentle, kind of gaunt, pale hand on his back. Well, my friend, shall we move forward?
Are you offering your hand for me to eat?
Maybe another day.
Oh, please do.
Then don't touch me.
Oh, my apologies.
Nifehl will just continue. There was stairs, you said, maybe?
Yes,
That make
across the way. Across the way is another kind of archway. Through that archway is that orange rug, and then as you walk in, you do see stairs. But as you do step in, I need you to make a either strength or agility test, your choice. As you step on the rug, the rest of you watch in almost disbelief as this rug animates itself and attempts to close around Nifehl.
Agility
I
for sure.
love this rug already. Now
Oh, snap.
That's an 18.
An 18.
Agility.
You recognize your more animalistic reflexes kick in, and as you step down, you sense something isn't right, and as it closes in, it pulls back, or you pull back. Nifehl, can you roll a d6 for me, please?
Ooh, the lolly.
2. It's going to again kind of creep out, and you watch as one of the corners kind of reaches out, almost tendril-like, to attempt to wrap around your leg and upper waist. I need you to make a agility test for me, a defense check for me.
7.
7. So as it wraps around your leg and locks you in place, it binds and tightens. You take, go ahead and roll your armor as well.
Two.
2.
Armor.
You'll take 1 point of damage as it squeezes and tightens, and you can feel your leg, the muscles in your leg start to kind of contract, and the bone kind of tense up. The rest of you, I need you to roll initiative real quick. I don't know why I don't know why I rolled initiative.
Because you want to be a part of the team.
I just want to play with y'all.
Oh,
No.
wait, it's a D6, right? Yes, a D6.
A D6 plus your agility.
Gotcha. Oh, why not? I'm gonna use another omen.
What?
On
Third.
this?
I got
Third head.
6.
Yes.
All right, 6.
You're not judged.
All right, Torn.
1.
Oh wow, that's uncanny
Impressive,
for
I
you.
know.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Mhm.
Abhorred.
7 again.
Wow. All right, Kutz
6.
and Nifehl.
3.
3. Awesome. Aboard, you get the first go as you watch this rug wrap its way up Nifehl's leg. What would you like to do?
Oh my, that is a very energetic rug. I've never seen one so quick and easy to be tricked by. How clever. Do I feel like if because Nifehl is not in the rug, right?
No, he's not in the rug. The rug has started to constrict around him, but it hasn't fully enclosed around him yet. No.
Okay. I'm going to ready my whip. I'm still going to be just in coils around my hand and, kind of glowing with necrotic energy. And I'm going to attempt to speak to the rug. Hi there, friend. You remind me of a play I once saw. It ended horribly. However, I like you. You should be a part of our team. Would you like? And I will try to get the rug to be on our side.
Roll a presence check for me, please.
D20 plus presence.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a 13 total.
A 13 total. Let's see. You watch as it almost reactionarily, the grip doesn't tighten, but it also doesn't loosen. You get the vibe. I don't know how you get a vibe from a rug, but you get the vibe that it is still angry with you all for entering its home.
I'll speak out. Oh, well, it seems to be more angry than it wants to be friends. I guess we have no choice, huh? And I end my turn.
Awesome. Therg, what would you like to do?
I'll step forward and look at Nifehl and be like, putting my hand on my sword and then my hand on the little warhammer, having a bit of a like, do you want the leg? Do you need the leg?
Yes, I need my leg.
Okay. And I will leave the sword alone, pull my warhammer out, and it's just a little club, so it's got a little hammerhead on one side and a spike on the other. I'll spin it to the spike side and try and slam down on the rug and pin it to the floor.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll, please.
17.
Yeah, that'll hit.
It's D6. 6.
6. Jeez, man. So as you turn around and you go down, the rug kind of reactionarily realizing what you're going to do, pops up and kind of arches, and you hit it directly in the center of this arch. And as you do, you tear down through it, dividing it in half. The coil that's around Nifehl's leg uncoils and unwinds as it kind of just goes limp on the ground.
And I'll just say, all these creatures seem to have a splitting headache. You get it? Because I split that one's head, and then I split this one's head, so it's a splitting headache.
Abhorred laughs even harder.
Yes.
Echoing through the house.
Awesome. Nifehl, do you lead the way down the staircase?
Yes.
As you do, you come into another chamber, a singular iron chandelier with a few candles that are still flickering, but at the end of their wicks illuminate this small chamber. You see, as you come down, your boot kicks this triangular piece of wood, maybe about this big, triangle wise. And as you do, looking throughout the room, you see a body of a man in leather armor, a short sword at his side, kind of splayed forward, a pool of blood around his chest. But on the far end of the room, you also see same size as this, like as if this were a piece to a puzzle, in the ground, a hole, a triangular hole, the same size as what this cover would be.
don't suppose anybody wants to see if that fits.
To the east and west, I'm sorry, as well, you do see a door on either side of the chamber, to your left and right.
I will kind of walk forward to Nifehl. Sure, I'll be the one. Why not? And so let's go left.
Okay. So going to the door on the left, you try it, and the door is this nice, ornate set of double doors with a keyhole in the center. You go to push the door open at the center, and it is locked.
It is locked. Well, that one seems to not want to open. Let's check the other. And I'll turn around and I'll go to the other door, to the right.
The other door is a simple iron door. It looks like it has a latch of some sort, like a sliding latch at about halfway eye level up. But you go to reach for the handle. It does have a keyhole, but as you turn the handle, it does open like with a.
Oh, I like the sound that made. What do I hear beyond the door?
Give me a presence check.
Gladly, Fate Master.
While he's doing that, would anybody else like to be doing anything?
I'd like to investigate the body, please.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a presence check.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Nice.
As you flip the body over, you notice its face. The man, an older gentleman, but well-built stock-wise. His beard kind of reaching the top of his chest. His face is purple and immensely puffy, as where all these puffs kind of seem to originate, there are a set of two almost fang marks in different portions of his body. There are probably 7 or 8 of these different lumps just on his face alone. Looking at his hands are similarly swollen. You also find a singular iron key.
Well, I'll take that. Kutz, have you ever seen anything like this?
You mean there's the dead body or that like the little bite marks in it? Have I seen anything like this before, Fate Master?
Being a Gutterborn Scum, and having some knowledge of poisons and things of that nature, you would be able to semi-easily identify these as either spider bites or snake bites. But if for these to be spider bites, they'd have to be big spiders.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like with these bites, either snakes or really fucking big spiders.
Lovely. Well then, I will take the key and try it in the door that Abhorred said was locked.
You put it in, and it does not seem to turn.
I toss it back onto the bed.
I with one of my eyes in the back of my head, I see that, and I would like to try to grab that key before it falls to the ground, or it falls back to the body.
Okay. Easily enough, yeah, you can do it. You kind of open the door, you take a quick look around, and you kind of listen in, but your eye diverts you really quick, and you kind of float over and kind of lay out and catch it, and then stand back up.
You asked me to roll a presence check for when I open the door. I got a 21. I've never rolled so high before.
A 21. So in this room, you notice a few things. Looking around, you see 4 cell-like barred doorways in front of you, 2 directly in front of you, 1, actually a 3rd on the side, and then where the 4th one would be, it looks as if the wall has caved in. To your left, the one thing you notice is that 4 of the tiles directly in the corner to your left seem to be off-colored. And then in the opposite corner of that, there are 2 torches that don't seem to be lit. The room is incredibly dark, and you can hear heavy...
Puppy?
I tell them all what I see to my left with the mist-colored tiles and the lamps or sconces that are not lit. And I also let them know that to my right is kind of like a cave-in. And I think you said other rooms?
Yeah,
beside the
there's 2 of these jail cells in front of you, and then there would have been 2 on that other wall, but one of them was caved in, and then there was the third one was there.
Are there any very large spiders?
In that room? Not that you can see.
Well, I'm asking you.
Oh, sorry.
Not that I can see, unfortunately. It's very dark in here. But I do hear someone panting for dear life.
I love it. Does it sound like a nope rope?
I don't know what that is, unfortunately. I'm going to glide into the room. Where do I hear the heavy breathing coming from?
The door, or the jail cell that's to your right, is where you hear it from. That singular one that's next to the caved-in cell.
Let's see. Well, our friend seems to be all locked up in a cage. Does anyone want to try to turn on some of those sconces to the left? But be careful of the mist-colored tiles. That could be kind of sketchy.
Sure. Nifehl will walk over and give it a shot.
You pull out some steel and flint, and the first one lights. The second one alights. And as you do both these now, you hear a clattering behind you, and you look at that back corner where Abhorred you had seen these miscolored tiles. The tiles now fell in, and some sort of trap floor there has now given way.
Mm. Yep, I saw that one coming. As I glide over to the as I'm kind of gliding over to the cage, I'm going to kind of slightly kind of move my head to where Therg is behind me. Therg, would you join me, my friend?
If I must.
And I will glide up to the cage. What do I see within?
Within, you see a singular room, 2 individuals in it, and then in the corner, in the left corner of it, you do see about a 4 or 5 foot hole that you think leads into that next chamber, that next cell over, whose wall has caved in. But inside, you see hunched over around what seems to be a dead body, 2 individuals.
2 individuals are hunched over a dead body. Okay.
Yes, naked, their hair matted, their backs seem to have be cut open as if by some sort of whip or other bladed instrument. And they see the light go, the sconces get lit. They hear the crashing of the tiles, and they turn around. You see these jagged teeth sticking out of both the top and the bottom. One of them is holding what looks to be a forearm of some sort of humanoid creature. Bite marks and tears within it. What's left, or the blood that's coming out of it, coagulated and kind of like that stringy drip from where it would normally meet the elbow. Who is this?
This is Abhorred returns the truth, my friend. I would love to learn your names.
Name, so long. It's I am Gred. I'm Grej, and
This is,
And he looks at him and he kind of stares off, and the other one is,
well,
What do you say?
Vel. V-E-L.
Vel.
Vel.
Gridge and Vel. Well, my hungry friends, this here to my left is my good friend Therg. We are here seeking to make sure this abode can be taken. Tell me, where does that hole lead to?
Leads to our former selves. We dug through after the collapse and came to this one, hoping the door would be open.
Oh.
And
was
only
it-
finding this meal here.
What rotten luck, huh?
Yes.
I look at the figure that they're eating. What do I see?
What's left of it seems to be human. From what you can tell, it doesn't seem to be of your ilk. It's mostly at this point bones. The more meaty portions. You'd imagine they've been here for several days, if not weeks, feeding off of rationing and feeding off of the remains.
I see. Tharg, what do you say? Should we be friends? Should we let them free?
I mean, we were meant to clear this place. If Nifehl's hungry.
Well, I don't mean we should eat them. I mean, maybe we should just let them go. Let them be free. Let them leave.
Are they, Fate Master, are they both just naked, starving people?
Yeah, it looks not necessarily naked. They still have some semblance of clothing, but it looks as if it's been a while since they ate, even before the collapse of this wall. So they probably resorted to eating what leathers and bits of clothing they had to at least give them something in their belly. And then when the collapse happened, they frantically broke down this wall and found the body in there. Or killed it. You don't know.
Yeah.
How absolutely pathetic. You know, they might have squatters' rights to the place.
Ooh. I love unknown law.
How do you two feel about being landowners?
You can tell they've never. Sven still needs to. This is Sven's home.
When's the last time you saw Sven?
He came here and took the third of us less than a fortnight ago.
And Sven fed you?
No, he did not.
Sven did not deserve this house, did he?
You see the two of them look at each other and they kind of start rubbing their hands. No, Sven did not deserve house. We do.
I believe they live here now.
Well, let's not be hasty. We have a job we must do, you know.
Jobs pay you money.
Well, what is money for friends? I do it for free. Ooh, if you like coin, I'll reach into my pocket and take out that 5 silver I found. Here you are, my friend. You can have this.
For what?
We are friends. That's what friends do. I don't need it. You take it, okay?
I take it.
And I will take out that key that I picked up that Törn dropped. Now, we're going to open this cage and you are going to go free. Don't try to eat us, okay? You promise?
They look at each other.
we have enough here to a couple more days.
Couple of more days.
This will last us, yes.
I see. How often does your friend Sven come here?
When he needs a new subject, and he needs one of us.
Oh, and you help him. How sweet. Does he pay you? Is it a job?
No. No one ever comes back that goes with him.
Your sacrifices, as much as you are. No longer, though. I will put the key into the hole and twist it to see if it works, and if it does, unlock the gates.
As you...
I'd like to prepare death.
Oh! Oh!
Just in case they
Just
come
in
too
case?
close.
Okay. All right. So as you turn the key, you hear it as it unlocks and the gate swings open. The two of them step out, one of them slinging what remains of the body over their shoulder, the other carrying the forearm that they were still munching, kind of eating it like a leg of mutton. And they kind of look at you guys and just very like a scared dog, tail between their legs, they start to slink out of the chamber, seeing the dead guard that was there. The other one hands the forearm to the first one and grabs the body and starts to put it over its shoulder, and they start to make their way up the stairs.
Can I stop them? Can I stop them and just be like, leave the teeth?
We have no need of teeth. And you watch as one of them starts to like he takes the butt of his, or like the what's it called? Part of your palm? I don't know, the heel of your palm. Thank you. And starts bashing in the teeth, and then like flips the head around and like dumps out the teeth and like sprinkles them on the floor, and then picks up the body and
as they're doing that, I would like to see the body that they're eating. I want to see if there's any importance to it. So as they're like doing that and getting out the teeth, I would look over the body.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a presence check.
Okay. So presence is +2. Okay. 17 total.
17. You see a brand on the opposite forearm, only part of it, but with that presence check, you'd be able to make out that this was the body at one point of some sort of famed deserter.
Do I recognize this fanged deserter?
It is not the fanged deserter you think of. No.
Whew! Okay. Okay.
No, he did have a similar. That's how you know it, though. He did have a similar brand on him, marked as he fled. It's kind of a unifying symbol amongst those who flee.
Got you. Okay. You almost saw a completely different Abhorred. It was gonna get crazy. All right. Cool. Excellent. Great. Fine. Yes.
As they're shaking out those teeth, Törn will tell them, I do hope you'll come back to visit. Our Lady could so use some excitement in her life.
Roll. You know what? I'm gonna make you roll a presence check for that, like a persuasion presence check for that. Go ahead.
Wow.
Hang on. What's that? What did I just?
I'm
roll?
in it for the job security. If she will pay us again in a month, come clean up these woods. Well, that was a 6.
6. So I rolled, and they look at you, and they all both get grins. If there's bodies, we'll be back.
Well, you don't know unless you try.
And they kind of nod, and they continue up the stairs and kind of wave goodbye. But you have a feeling that they might be back.
I am going to glide into the cage and go to the opening of the hole to look within.
Okay. Going into the... Where is it? Going in there, you see the door. Again, you see that door that's been caved in, but you do see a small chest in the opposite end of the room.
Oh, Törn, guess what I found?
Another goose.
No! I mean, unfortunately not. But a chest, maybe with money, with treasure.
I have learned that not all chests contain equal value. I will investigate the chest.
But I'll look at it anyway.
Simple enough. The chest is unlocked. It's just a simple latch. You flip it open. Inside, you find 15 silver pieces. You also find, where's it at? I just lost it. There it is. You also find a diamond ring. And as you lift it up, to your knowledge, no, you don't see any runes or anything of that nature. But as you lift it up, you may find this to be a curse. Coming almost from the diamond like a rose, this sweet smell. You'd imagine if you wear it, it would almost be like a perfume, like a consistent perfume on you.
No, pass that one off to Therg. Yeah. I'll hold on to these coins for all of us.
Yes, you will. I trust you. So what was that about not all treasure chests are equal in value? I thought so. Do I see anything else within this room?
Just the two other doors that look like they're jail cells, and then the again the hole where the floor caved in.
Okay, I'm going to go over to one of the doors to investigate.
Okay. Looking through the bar, you can see a skeleton in there.
Is it sleeping?
It looks to be a skeleton that is inanimate.
Oh. Do I see anything else? Like, is it wearing anything? Or...
There's bedding, and you can see with the little bit of light that's there, you can also see some glinting in its teeth. Just a little bit of that like shine.
Wow, Törn. Isn't that skeleton's teeth so shiny? I wonder if they're gold or silver. And Abhorred will wait.
Grab the skull and hold it up to Nifehl to examine as well. You're of a connoisseur of bones. What do you think?
I'll just rip the teeth out if I can see them, or try to.
Easy enough. Are you talking about this is the skeleton that you went in and removed the head from, or is this okay? So Abhorred, you would have had to open up the cell, and then Törn, you grab the skull, walk it over, and you look in your hand. You have maybe about a dozen normal teeth, but you also have in your hand 3 golden teeth. And you know gold is something that it is only the highest of nobility have gold, and for somebody to have gold teeth, they must have been somebody of at least some wealth. But these golden teeth are special because they are gold and they are teeth, and the two of you both love your teeth.
Well, look at you, Törn. Aren't you coming up on top with all this treasure you're finding? This is a very thriving adventure for you.
Suppose this has not been a complete waste of time.
I suppose we're very close friends now. I will go to the next room.
The next cell you open up, you don't see anything in. You open up, all you see is the bed. You kind of shuffle through the bed. Nothing of import. This one must have been left empty.
Okay. So the key that we found was for these doors. It wasn't for the other door on the other hallway, and we haven't found anything for that yet. Sorry, I think out loud. I'm gonna turn to Nifehl. Nifehl, I think we should take a venture down the hole, yes?
Sure.
Would you like to guide the way?
How deep does it look?
So looking down, you see this looks to be about 30 feet. And at about the 15-foot mark, you see a small ledge that looks big enough for one person to stand. You'd imagine if you guys went down, you'd have to go down single file to that ledge and then go down to the next one, like to the base floor.
I'll look at the teeth. I'll take one of the gold teeth and then just hand the rest over to Törn, and I'll tuck it somewhere. All right. And I'll just try to descend. I don't know. I suppose I might have some rope or something.
If anybody has rope or chain, they could use that to help you descend.
I can
don't
help.
Have any rope, but
I have something that may help us. Kutz, come give me a hand, and I'll pull out a large sack that I have, and I'll just start rifling through, and I'll go, hold this. I'll pass you a sealed bottle. I'd like, don't drop it. Do not drop it.
Don't.
No. I'll go back into my sack, and I'll pull out a grappling hook. that I rolled really well for, and I'm like, we could use this, and I'll try and wedge it in the floor at the entrance of the hole, and then throw the end of it over, and then very, very delicately take the glass, the sealed bottle off Kutz, and softly place it back into it.
So you can get down with the little bit of rope that's there. You can get down to that ledge, but then after that, you will either have to jump or kind of try to do a superhero landing of sorts to avoid taking damage for that last 15 feet.
Guess we'll find out.
All right. Who'd like to go? Who'd like to go first?
I'll go
If
first.
only I had a goose to soften my landing.
Well, you could drop the goose down and land on it.
What's the point? Is it still dead just on your head?
I say ladies go first. Kutz, why don't you?
Yeah, sure. 1 second though. And as Kutz is looking at the knife that Abhorred had given her earlier, how does that compare to the one that she's already holding?
Yours is a rather kind of untarnished. I mean, you used it a few times. It does have some of those little bits of rust chipped into it from just stabbing somebody and then letting the blood sit there. But this one is completely rusted. The edge is gaudy and just, you'd imagine, would infect somebody mighty bad if you got them in the right spot.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna try this one out. And as the little monkeys are running around at her feet, she's gonna take the other dagger and she's gonna hold it down. And be like, hold on to this for me, please. Don't lose it.
And you watch as one of the monkeys comes up and grabs it, and then almost like the gif of a child running around with the knife, he starts like slashing it around like this and like kind of mocking you in a way. The other monkey is kind of hopping around and trying to avoid him as he does. But eventually, seeing you get ready to go down this rope, he kind of collects himself again and watches you go down.
Perfect. And I will go ahead and start going down on the rope then.
All right. So you can descend the 15 feet down the rope relatively easily. But in order to get down that other 15 feet, I need you to make me an agility test, please. Or a toughness check, one of the two.
Okay, that's a 5.
A 5. So as you jump, you are going to, you kind of attempt to do one of those kind of front flips and land really cool, but you mess up and you're going to take 1 point of damage as you fall.
Okay, 1 point.
Who's next? If you guys are all just going down, you guys can either do an athletics or a toughness check, to see how you fare.
Oh, a natural 20. Hey.
Nice.
All right. Abhorred, you kind of just float very gracefully down to the bottom. Or if you have any other means of getting down, that's really up to
No,
you.
that was perfect, Fate Master. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the fella's gonna find something to, maybe the cage. No, well, something to tie the donkey's reins to,
Okay.
so they
Yeah,
can't
you
just
can-
walk away.
Yeah, you can tie it, or you could even lock it within one of those cages if you so wish, getting the key prior from Abhorred. That way, it's in a what you know to be safe and locked place. You can
That
get some
sounds
food.
good. Yeah, that sounds good. 17 for agility, by the way.
17 for agility. Seeing Kutz try to attempt that front flip, you're like, yeah, I got this. You do a front flip and kind of do the Prince of Persia slide down the wall as you connect to the other side and very gracefully land on your feet and take no damage.
Nice.
Törn. Therg.
What's a 3 get me?
A 3 will get you as you go down, you trip, and man, that D4 is rolling really low. I'm going to use this other one for Therg if he falls. You take 1 point of fall damage, which would have still been a 1 on the other die. God, I hate. And I wanted to bring out all my dice for this.
Fucking rude.
I
And
rolled an
Therg.
8.
What'd you get?
8.
An 8. Yeah, you're gonna take a whopping 2 points of fall damage.
I'm
So
unconscious.
I need you to roll me a D4, please. Man,
But
is
you're
this
not-
In fact, can I use an omen to reduce the damage?
you can reduce the you could reduce the CR of it, the DR of it too, or you can reroll.
Oh, I'll reroll. Because I am squishy.
Good luck.
13?
13 will do it. So you land on your feet, unscathed, and not dead or
Yeah.
dying.
Third, did you take damage previously?
Nope.
He's,
Oh, buddy.
he's brand new.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
at the-
squishy little Therg.
At the bottom of this drop that you all have made, you guys are now looking at an archway. Not super ornate, but the edging of it is kind of more kind of scrolly and got some work to it. And as you step in, you notice that you are in a study of sorts. And as you start to get your bearings and take in this room that you all are in, that's where we're going to take a quick break.
Ooh,
So,
I
Thank you
like
guys for
it.
joining us so far. We're going to take a quick 10-ish minute break. We'll throw in Discord and in chat when we're coming back.
See you soon. Bye.
And we're back. So, as you enter this room, you see around you a small study. The wall that you are looking at as you come through the door is bare, but as you turn the corner, you see a small desk with a portrait of Sven, a slender man, not the slender man, but a slender man, build-wise, in a elegant robe with the hood pulled up, pointed at the top. He has a walking staff in one hand with a crystal, and his belt is adorned with different jewels. Below the desk, or below the portrait, is a desk with a small bookshelf and some scattered papers on it. And to the left of the desk, you see another chest. This one ornately made with a lock on it.
Kutz would like to go over to the paperwork that's strewn about, and she's specifically looking for any type of identification.
I'm sorry, is this a living man in the room?
That's what I was thinking.
No.
What?
No. It's a self-portrait
Oh.
on the wall above the desk is a self-portrait of Sven, or what you'd imagine Sven to be like.
Huh. Seems he embellished. No one's that pointy.
Kutz, did you find anything over there? Any
Oh, yes,
identification?
I'm sorry. Kutz, give me a presence check, please.
14.
14. Looking through the notes, are you looking more for like a deed or something to the house, or are you what kind of identification specifically?
Any type of personal information for Sven.
Okay. So looking through the scattered papers, you notice that these are detailed, almost like lab reports, or journals that he was making after whatever findings. One of them in particular talks about this is the 8th body that I've added to it. It is getting hungry and more aggressive. Entering its domain will surely lead to my undoing. Another one talks about how he has finally been able to fuse 2 bodies together to essentially make one giant lumbering flesh creature. But most of the writing, you can sense that there's some sort of foreboding or foreshadowing in the way he writes, as if he's realizing that his end is coming. He doesn't come out and exactly say it, but a lot of it similar to the, if I go in there again, it'll be my undoing type of writing going on there.
Well, looks like he was expecting something bad to happen. Kutz will hand over some of the paperwork as she's explaining this. Something about feeding bodies, and that something would eventually be his undoing.
How interesting. Feeding something bodies.
Bodies. Sounds like Nifehl.
What about me?
Well, you and Sven's pet seem to have palates in common.
Flesh?
Indeed.
Yeah.
He wanted mine.
That makes one of us.
Well, I am... Go ahead.
Does it say where he kept the thing?
Does it say that anywhere in the paperwork?
Does not, no. But behind you guys, opposite of where the entryway you guys came into, there isn't a doorway, it's just a hallway that continues, and it looks like it curves about 5 or 10 feet in.
Okay. I am going to check the portrait.
Okay, go ahead and give me a presence check.
Okay. 14 total.
14. It's very masterfully done. You can't make out the artist who painted it. There's no signature anywhere. But you'd imagine that
it would it'd fetch a pretty penny on the market if you were to sell it. It's very elegantly made, and even if somebody it wasn't a self-portrait of them, it's still a nice painting.
As I look at the painting, there is a kind of like a wave along my face, and what it is just like a wave of eyes opening and shutting. And then I'm going to slowly, with a big, unnaturally huge smile, and wide eyes turn to Törn. This looks mighty expensive, does it not?
I don't trade in art. Too easy to trace.
Fair enough. And Fate Master, there was the desk that Kutz checked out. There was the portrait, and there's one desk that looks like a chest. Is that right?
No, there is a chest next to the desk.
Oh, I see. I will check out the chest.
Okay. It does have a padlock on the front of it. The iron is inlaid and very kind of laced with different finery, and it's definitely a nicer made chest than the one that you saw upstairs.
This is so fancy, is it not? I am going to try to stick the key in there that I've been using.
Okay. You stick the key in and you try to turn it, and it's not budging.
By chance, would any of you know how to lockpick?
I hit the lock with my femur.
Go
Not
ahead
my
and
femur, but the femur.
pull it out of my leg. Go ahead and roll an attack roll for me. So add your strength.
I brush past him hard. Yes, of course, lock picking.
Oh, that'll work too.
And use an omen to reroll. Woo! Natural 20.
Natural 20. Go ahead and roll double damage.
Nice.
6.
And the nice thing about when you roll a natural 20, whatever you're rolling typically loses a level of armor. And since this lock is technically made out of metal, it would have an armor of itself. But as you smash into it, dealing that damage, you watch as the lock just shatters. There's a little bit of that like U shape where the lock kind of goes over that you can kind of pluck out of there and flip open the lid.
Do that?
Okay. As you do, on the inside of the chest, where's it at?
The chest casts death on you.
I need you to make a strength check for me, please.
Oh. Who? Me?
Törn.
Oh. Okay.
As she opens up the lid.
Hold on.
What'd you get?
Opening the lid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't open the lid.
Oh, you didn't open the lid. I thought I heard you.
No,
I thought you
I
said you flipped it
I
open.
smashed the lock off. Oh no, sorry, that was an invitation for someone else.
Oh, I open it then.
All right, I need you to make me a strength check then, Abhorred.
Okay.
Somebody open it now that they have to make a strength check.
I am going to use my third omen. Dice gel. Let's do this sparkly one. Ooh, my strength. I'm surprisingly strong. 14 total.
14. You watch as you lift it open, you go to peer on what's inside. You watch as this elongated tongue wraps around your waist and pulls you into it. And your body now halfway in it and halfway out as the lid starts to shut on your back. And I need you to roll me a d6, please.
Yeah, look, Törn. There's teeth here.
You also take 3 points of damage from the lid.
3 points of damage, and what am I rolling?
You're gonna roll a d6 for me, just a
Okay.
straight d6.
Let's go with this nice blue. 3.
3. So it will go first. You watch as the tongue continues to retract in and Abhorred gets pulled now to his knees.
Yeah.
And Abhorred, I need you to roll a defense check, so d20 plus your defense.
My defense.
Or plus your agility, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like, what is that one? I'm comfortable with that, I think. That's going to be a 15 total.
15. So what I will say is regardless, it's going to hit, but you're going to be able to negate damage. You're going to be able to negate damage more consistently. That's what you're going at this point. It's going to be consistently doing damage, but these rolls are to see if your armors able to withstand the beating. So go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll your armor. Yes, go ahead.
That was the question. That was it. Here we go.
Yep.
All right, so that first 3 points of damage I got from the lid, my armor would take.
The armor doesn't. The first one it doesn't negate, the first one it doesn't negate. These next ones it will.
Okay, so that was a 4 on the D4.
4 on the D4, so you only take 2 points of damage.
So additional points of 2 damage. Gotcha.
Correct. Your armor negating the rest of it. Let's see. With that, that's the end of its turn. I need the rest of you to roll initiative, please.
Yeah, this quite hurts.
Where'd my marker go? There it is.
Yes.
Therg with 2. 4 for Nifehl and 20.
8.
Jeez.
8 for me.
And then Kutz. I don't know how you do it, man. Awesome. So Abhorred, stuck inside of this thing. It is now your turn. What would you like to do?
This is quite painful. I haven't felt my blood in so long. It's quite cold. I like the feeling. You know what else is kind of has the same electric feeling? Let me show you, dear box. And as I say that, my gray eyes kind of fog over in white as electricity starts to fly from them. All the eyes on my face open with these electric powered eyes. It's almost like my face is just like this bright light bulb as each eye is streaking out bits of electricity. And I will say, here, have this. And as I touch the chest, bolts of lightning fly from me and kind of like rains out through the room, like kind of hitting like random, like, you know, the ceiling and the floor around me. It's just an explosion of lightning as I cast what the spell is, I believe. Which one was it? Well, basically, I can roll a D4 to see how many lightning bolts I summon, and I can choose who gets hit.
Before you do, I need you to roll me a presence check, DR 12, to see if you can actually cast it.
That's right.
That's nine violet signs and not the storm.
That's what it is. Oh dear, I'm in quite the pickle. Natural 20! Oh.
All right, so what you're gonna do is, because there isn't technically a natural 20 mechanic in the game, but I've done it for Törn and a couple of others who have natural 20'd. What you're going to do is you're going to roll. You get 2d4 lightning bolts, but because it's you'll still get that, but they'll deal double damage. So go ahead and roll a d4. On a 3, it's a 1, and on a 4, it's a 2.
4, so 2.
4. So you get two bolts. One of them has to go somewhere else. So one of them will hit this thing, and the other one will kind of branch out and hit somebody else.
It will hit Törn. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Jeez.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I'm not gonna
The
do that.
savagery. I love it. Do it.
No. The second one is just going to blast into the ceiling.
Okay, I'll give you. You know, yeah, I'll give you it. Considering it's a natural 20, I'll let you direct it to where you want.
Thank you so much.
But so the double damage, you'll do 2d6. I believe the dice is.
I thought
For
it was. I could be wrong, but I thought it was D10s for the lightning bolts. I could be wrong.
Do you have a different lightning bolt one? D10. No, it's 2D. It's 2D6, or it's a D6.
It's 1d6.
Yeah, it's one. It's just 1d6. So you'll do 2d6 for because you crit.
Okay. Well, that's poopy. I don't add anything to that. Well, 3 points of lightning damage.
3 points of lightning damage. You watch as it smacks into it and goes through. You watch as it absorbs and gets those when a tree is struck, it has all of those tendrils going through it. You guys watch as that happens as the lightning and the fire spreads through it. And then you look like you got a solid hit in there. Nifehl, your turn.
Well, I suppose now would be as good of time as ever. Nifehl drops down to like a knee in pain as his spine sort of twitches and his elbows elongate and his flesh begins to peel from his skin, revealing some dripping and sopping wet fur as his mouth elongates and his teeth sharpen, and the visage of a wolf-like creature appears or sort of grows out from him. And then I'll attack. Not great. I'm gonna use an omen. Can I use that to reroll?
You can do that to reroll or drop the DC by 4.
I'm gonna reroll that one.
Awesome.
Much better. And I got a 19, which is a crit for me in this form. So I'm gonna roll a D6. I rolled a 3.
Roll 2d6 for me.
2d6.
Because it's a crit. Yep.
5, so 8 altogether.
8 altogether.
Yes.
And
on a crit, it has to do a morale test.
Well, the good news is that it does not need to do a morale test, because as you bite into this, almost like a dog into a chew toy, you bite once and you tear away a giant chunk of the chest, and you watch as a bunch of coins start to spill out, and almost like the stuffing from a toy. You go in again and rip out another corner. You go and grab the top and you rip off the top latch, allowing the tongue kind of lolling and spitting Abhorred out as it does, as you are now surrounded by a bunch of tiny silver coins.
Nice. Does this chest have teeth?
It tried to eat me. Yes, it has teeth.
You know what? It does.
It just licked you.
You'd have to do a presence test for me to see if you can find them. More like a survival roll.
It sounds like you want a thunderbolt, Törn. Okay.
18.
Yeah, you managed to pull out. There's not many, but you managed to pull out. You have to actually go in and it really takes a lot of work, because you have to push the lining in between the on the edging of the lid and the bottom portion. You're only able to get 2 fangs, but the fangs are about the size of like a middle finger.
Cool. Since I'm in wolf form, my communication will be limited at this point. So I'm just gonna walk over to Törn and have the 2 teeth, and just hand one over, and then tuck the other one where I tuck the gold tooth.
Oh, you're like actually a dog.
Yeah, okay. I'll spit it out of my mouth then.
Yeah, you're full
Törn
on.
is in awe. This is the best thing that's happened to her all decade.
And I'll just sniff around the chest, but that's it.
All right. Anybody else?
So much treasure.
Okay, so this is normal. People can just change like this? What?
Yeah.
Am I the only one
that's...
that's...
I love it.
Y'all are weird.
Are you the only one that's what?
Confused. A little
Whatever for?
about the.
Did you know he could do that?
Yes, I did. So you've never seen anyone change? You never seen someone shoot lightning from their hands either?
Oh no, that part's fine, but you didn't like change your entire form.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not. I have nothing wrong, nothing against it, I guess.
It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. I want to look over to Nifehl. Nifehl, they seem to really like you. Play nice.
I'll walk over to Kutz and just kind of walk back away.
Well, geez. Okay.
Abhorred. Are you injured from?
Quite, yes.
the
I'm
big
bleeding.
box?
I'm bleeding out profusely.
All right, I will go into my bag and rummage around, and then produce a life elixir and hand that over.
I take it.
You might want to drink this.
Thank you for this gift, friend. I'm sure to return the favor.
I hope you do not.
And I'll uncork it and drink.
I believe that's a D4 or D6. Let me double check.
D6. Do I roll it or does he?
He's drinking it, so he can roll it.
Okay, so 1d6 healing.
Yes, and it removes any infections.
Oh, well, thank you. I rolled a 5. I lost 5 HP. I'm back to full.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Much better. Thank you so much, Törn.
Yes.
So looking on the ground now that because it's literally just torn asunder at this point, you notice a few things. One, you notice the large amount of silver coins that were in the chest. The other thing that catches your eye is a silver necklace inlaid with these kind of pink, almost like pearls. And then the third thing you notice is a wallet or a pocketbook that seems to be kind of going.
I think that wallet wants to eat me too. I will take the necklace out of the chest, and I will walk over to Kutz. Would you like this?
Yeah, I'll take that. Thanks.
And I will put it around her neck.
Oh.
Okay.
Are there any heavy objects on the desk, like paperweight?
Yeah, there's a paperweight or two. There is also a kind of obsidian, like meteorite looking.
Great.
As well.
Bring that over and drop it on the wallet.
All right. Go ahead and roll a D4 for me, please. 4. So as it smashes to the ground, you pick it back up. There's a little bit of ichor on it, and you see that the wallet is now laying flat and motionless.
I'd like to flip it open, see what's inside.
You flip it open, and it looks to be the pocketbook of some sort of adventurer. There's a card there that looks like it is an identification card for Shelswick.
For a what?
For Shelswick, it's a city.
Noted.
Does it belong to Sven?
Does not belong to Sven. Belongs to an Ivan.
Ivan.
No surname.
Does Ivan look like either of the two cannibals we let loose in the woods?
There's not like an actual picture, but the identification on there doesn't look like, or at least the writing that's on there doesn't indicate either of those two cannibals that you let loose.
Huh. There's no picture. I could be Ivan. I'll stick it in my bag.
It's nice to meet you, Ivan. Yeah. As I begin to, because Fate Master, you said that there was a hallway that kind of turns in this room.
Mhm.
Okay, so as I'm walking over to the hallway, I like to be walking by Törn and Therg, and I'll speak to them both. So, children of Nechrubel, are we? How interesting. Never before have I seen one of you. Please tell me what it's like to be child of one of the gods of the bringer of death, the bringer of the end of the world. How is that?
Cold. Very cold.
Very cold.
Mm.
As he says that, I'm assuming that your skin's kind of festered and you look kind of zombie-ish. I could be wrong.
It's pale.
Mhm.
It's not like Törn's, which has maggots and creepy crawlers
Mhm.
inside it.
Mhm.
He's just very pale, kind of gaunt looking.
Okay.
A little bit clammy.
Yeah.
But
I see. Törn, what's your experience of being one of the children of the bringer?
I do regret every day leaving the sanctuary of Nechrubel. Yes, no one quite compares.
Why did you leave?
Well, that's a very long story for another day, but I will just tell you. Stay away from gambling dens.
Noted.
And if
And I
you
will-
do happen upon one, you don't know me.
Understood, Ivan. I don't know you. And I will continue down the hall.
As you do, if anybody was going to attempt to pick up those silver pieces,
oh yeah.
no,
I'll pick them up. Yep. I'll
they
take
are
'em.
mauled by even more baby. No, I'm kidding. There are 298 silver pieces.
Oh my god. Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Sven was loaded.
298 silver. Wow.
Sven better be dead.
I'm sure he will be by the time you meet him. So I continue down the hall. What do I see at the end? I'm moving very carefully, checking the walls and stuff.
The hallway is a singular hallway. There's no doors either than at the very, very end. And it looks the amount of locks, not like padlocks, but like the ones like deadbolt locks that are on this door from top to bottom are so numerous. And there's even one of those like giant wooden bars or iron bars that you put across the center of it. Looks like whatever's behind that door, Sven did his best to ensure wouldn't come out.
Nifehl, it looks like something's trapped in here. We hate being trapped, don't we? That makes us angry, doesn't it?
Well, can I attack it?
Sure, you can attempt to attack the door.
I mean, I'm not sure what else I would do in said form.
You could ask it very nicely.
The deadbolts are on your guys' side, so you guys can move the deadbolts and unlock.
So it's
them
like
if you
really
wish.
obvious that it's okay.
Yeah, it's obvious that he was locking it from his side of the door.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Oh.
okay. Well, I rolled a 4 anyway, so.
You attempt to bite into the base of the door, and you get your lower jaw underneath it, and you attempt to rip. And you can feel one of your teeth, not your canine, but like one of your front teeth, chip a little.
I don't like that. I'm just gonna back off.
As he backs off, I go, well, let's give this a try. And I'm going to try to unlock them with the key that I have.
You don't even need the key. They're just like slide. They're dead. They're like deadbolts. So you just
Oh, okay. Boom, 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 boom.
I just have paws,
and then,
not hands.
and then
was-
there's a
I
there's
saw
a
something
kind
else
of
in my
Only
head.
person who couldn't unlock the door.
I saw
there's-
something different in my head.
yeah, no, there are a bunch of deadbolts that slide over. So as you do, some of them have this kind of loud thump at the end of them. Some of them are a little bit easier to do. It seems like some of them were placed originally with the smaller, and then as whatever this was became potentially more dangerous, he added the bigger locks, until finally all that's left is a giant wooden bar that goes over these two iron kind of hangers in the center of the door, or on either side of the wall, and you lift that up and kind of it's heavy, so like you stumble back a bit and drop it at your feet. But the door is in front of you and is completely unlocked.
I'll go in first because I'm excited. I'm shaking. I will open the door and like it's very slowly listening, see just like see if I can hear anything.
Go ahead and give me a presence check.
Presence is gonna be +2. Oh, that wasn't the complete best. That's gonna be a total of 11.
11. As you open the door, the first thing that your eyes dart to and your ears pick up is the sound of rushing water as you look into the chamber. And really the most identifying feature there is a large pool in the back end of the chamber. The water rushing from the pool through a grate that is on the back wall of the chamber. That's the first thing. That's the main thing with your 11 that your eyes kind of shift to.
So a pool that is leaking into a grate on the other side of the room.
And the grate is a rather large grate. It's probably about, you don't know how far deep into the water it goes, but it goes, from what you can see, it's about 4 feet tall and about 10 or so feet wide. And there's bars about every 3 or 4 feet.
3 or 4 feet. 3 or 4. Oh. There's a bar every 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah, there's a bar. Yeah. So there's about a 3-foot gap in between each bar.
This thing
Every
is-
3 or 4 feet.
That thing
Sounds
is
like it's time
big.
for a pub crawl.
I'm going to walk into the room carefully.
Okay.
And kind of try to, I don't know if I can, see if I can get a better look as I walk in.
Okay. As you do, and you look around, it's very dark in here, but what little bit of light there is coming from some cracks in the ceiling. And from the doorway to your left, to your far, far left, like maybe about 50 or so feet from you on the opposite end of the wall, this chamber is massive. It's not quite tall. It's maybe about 15 feet tall, but wide. It is, to your right, you can see maybe about 20 or 30 feet away, a singular stalactite. No. The one on the ground.
Might.
Might? No. Thought it was might fall. No, tight is tight to the ceiling. See, and this is no. This is why I'm a history major, guys.
The stalag.
It's a stalag thing. Jutting out, rather large, maybe about 15 or so feet around. But there's a door about 50 feet to your right. And then you see the grate and the pool, and in different spots scattered around the room, splotches of what look like blood and leftover guts.
How cozy it is in here. So to my right, I see the stalagmite, and then beyond that, I see a door.
To your right is the stalagmite. To your left, like far to your left, is the door.
Understood.
And
Gotcha.
straight across from you-ish is the grate and the pool.
Nifehl, why don't you lead us? Which way should we go? Use your keen sense of smell.
put my nose to the ground and start sniffing away.
Go ahead and give me a presence check, please.
3.
3.
Can I give him one of my omens?
Oh, I have plenty of omens. I can just use one of mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I got 2 more left, I think, right? 17.
17. So with the 17, you pick up 2 things. After being in Sven's chamber, especially in your wolf form, you were able to get enough of an identifier from the silver and from the different papers and just the smell of the room as a whole of what Sven himself smelled like. And you're picking that up through the grate. Coming kind of from the grate, there's a little bit of waft, a draft of air. Now there's a second draft of air coming from the door, that doorway to your left. And that now is a little bit cleaner. It is still kind of that stagnant marshiness of the wasteland surrounding, but that one you can pretty much tell leads outside.
Okay. And you can't tell by looking to see how deep the water is?
Looking how deep the water is, from what you can see at the entry level, like right at the edge of the water, maybe about a foot or so. But it does seem like it is on a slant going deeper.
All right. Well, I'll just doggy paddle into the water then.
Aww. Aww.
Everybody else make presence checks for me, please. Except for Nifehl.
I got a 4.
Nice.
5.
16. Wow.
All right. So everybody else, you're kind of in your own world watching this doggy wolf Nifehl start paddling into the water as it gets deeper. But aboard, something catches your eye. The mangled, kind of fleshy fur of Nifehl. There's something starting to poke up out of the water next to it. It looks like a hand, an arm.
Nifehl, out of the water. Nifehl, out. Now.
Can I try and exit?
Yeah, I'm gonna make you with that kind of direction from aboard. Go ahead and give me an agility test to see if you can quickly get out of the water.
11.
11. I'm actually gonna roll this one. Cool. I rolled lower than you. So
Nice.
as you start to as you start to climb out of the water, you're still right on the edge of the pool, but where you were swimming, maybe about a foot behind you, you watch as these 2 kind of long, the only way you could describe it as an arm attached, like where the shoulder joint is attached to the wrist of another arm, pops out of the water and attempts to grab Nifehl and drag him under. But you don't, it doesn't grab hold. You're able to quickly kind of swim out of the way using the agileness of your dog body to get out of the way. But what you see next, kind of
I loose my whip.
following him afterward, kind of slinking out of the water, are these, like I said, tentacle-like arms where there's 3 or 4 arms making up a singular one of these tentacles. Then in the center, coming out of the water directly behind Nifehl, what could only be described as if human centipede was an octopus.
Oh my god.
Where the head is like in the center of this mass of bodies, and you see like 2 or 3 or 4 heads all kind of around in a circle, like open and again. And aboard, I need you to roll me a d6, please.
Is one of them Ivan?
Is one of them Ivan? Go ahead and roll a presence check.
14.
14. From the description on the paper, one of those one of the faces, and again, it's decomposing and rotting, but you can see the hair and a little bit of this sunken where the eyes were, and the facial structure. Probably could be
Fate Master, I wouldn't know what number I would need to be on top of the combat chart, yeah?
You would.
And what numbers are those?
4, 5, or 6.
4, 5, or 6, you say? I'm going to use a omen to roll that d6 again.
Go for it.
Oh no! I tried. 1.
1. So
Yeah.
it will go first. Now, before we get into this, since this will be a little bit lengthier, I will have you guys roll initiative now. So go ahead and roll your initiative as this Persoctopus comes out of the water. I see Törn with 3. 2
5.
for Therg. 5, and so 6 for Kutz. And then Abhorred or Nifehl, which of you would like to go first?
Me.
And then this thing has that much of that. Has that. Ooh, okay, cool. Awesome. So it is going to go first. The only thing in its range at the moment is Nifehl. So Nifehl, I'm going to have you roll. Let me see really quick. It's going to attempt to rake at you. So I need you. Oh, it gets 2 of these. So it's going to attempt to rake at you, and the other is going to reach out toward you and try to catch you. So the rake attack, I need a DC 14 agility test from you, please.
That's a 2.
A 2.
Do you have an omen that you want to use?
Yeah. I'll use. Yeah. Oh, that's so much better. That's a 18.
18. So as it goes, the one tentacle-like hand with these giant claws at the end of it goes to grab at your back and scrape across you. You manage to dodge out of the way pretty deftly and turn, baring your teeth at it. The other hand is going to, or another arm is going to come out of the water and try to sweep under your legs and drag you into the water. I need you to make another agility test for me, please.
Oh. Guess I'll use my last omen. 13.
13. It grabs you, and you feel your legs slip out from underneath as it continues to pull, and it pulls you 10 feet into the water. You are now not underwater, but you are like doggy paddling, lapping at the top as this tentacle is wrapped around your hindquarters. And that's its turn. Kutz. It's your go.
Okay, and the tentacles that we were seeing, are any of them currently exposed and not 10 feet out in the water?
There's one. I would say that since it is still kind of in that process of climbing out, there are a couple. There's probably 2 on either side.
Okay. Kutz is going to run for the one that's closest to her and take out her dagger and attempt to go to the, I guess, thinnest portion she can see and try to pin it.
All right, you go to where one of the wrist portion, right where the hand is, the wrist behind it. Again, part of the forearm, but so meaty enough to what you think would hold, but tiny enough where you can get a dagger through and pinned in place. Go ahead and give me a attack roll, please.
Okay. Ooh, that's not good. I'm gonna use one of my omens.
Go for it.
Again. Okay, it's a lot better. It's gonna be a 14.
A 14. That is enough. Go ahead and roll damage for me, please.
Okay. And is it different with this newer dagger, or
the newer dagger is a D4.
D4, perfect. That'll be 3 points.
Yeah. Cool. 3 points of damage. All right, I'm gonna roll my armor for this guy. All right, you do 2 points of damage to it as you stab in, and then go ahead. I'm gonna roll a D20, and that was a natural 1. So it does pin that one arm into the rock underneath. You see it trying to move, and it's as it's trying to lift its arm up. Cool. Anything else?
And she's just gonna kind of very hurriedly around to see where her monkeys are.
Where your monkeys are. Turning around, looking
Yes.
around, you can see them kind of starting to make their way into the door. Seeing this thing, the other two kind of step back to the opposite side of the door. The third one, who you gave the knife to, is kind of like getting ready to charge in, all heroic like.
Oh, perfect. I love them so much. That'll be it.
Awesome. Abhorred, it is your turn.
I see this creature in the water. Yes,
You do.
and I think it has Nifehl.
It does have Nifehl. From what you saw, it grabbed him around like the hip region and dragged him into the water.
Okay, I can attack this thing from being on the shore.
Correct.
All right.
With your whip you're talking about?
That's right.
Yep.
Because the other thing will kill everyone. The whip is glowing this sickly purple as I kind of sling it around. You hear shoo, 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 shoo. I'm just gonna yell out, Nifehl, out of the water! Shoo! And I'm going to sling my whip and I'm going to try to whip this creature and at the same time hopefully pull one of its arms back away from Nifehl. I know it has many arms or tentacles, but I'm just doing what I can to maybe distract it as much as I can to give Nifehl a fighting chance.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll, please.
Oh, let's see. I am using an omen.
All right.
Should I use the same die?
How many omens did you start off with?
I had 3, and then Therg gave me an extra 2, so 5.
All right.
Ooh, jealousy. Not playing. Let's see what we got here. Better. All right, and this is with agility
This is
or
with strength. With strength.
4, 5, 6, 7. 17 total to hit.
17 total will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. Oh, double 4s. All right, so 4 points of slashing, 4 points of necrotic.
All right, you watch as it. Okay, that's a 3. It will take 3 of that, so that it will take 5 points of damage, and you watch as it slashes in, and it grabs one of the arms and coils around. You have to use your action next turn to attempt. If you wanted to, you could either pull it back and make another attack, or attempt to try to move that arm or manipulate the tentacle that it's attached to.
Understood.
Your next turn.
Gotcha.
Um,
Done.
Nifehl, your turn.
So I think I'll just kind of reach for whatever arm or tentacle is available and bite down.
Go for it.
Plus my strength?
Plus your strength, correct.
Okay, so that's only a 9.
Only a 9. So you attempt to bite into the arm, and at the last second, you're trying to bite the tentacle in the water that pulled you in, and at the last second, as you go, you're about to snap shut on it. You watch you feel the tentacle pull at your waist, and you dip down unexpectedly and get a mouthful of water, and it throws you off, and you bite down into nothing.
I think that's it.
Okay. Törn.
I would like to.
Are you gonna cast what I think you're?
Clean scroll.
Are you gonna cast what I think you're gonna cast?
I think you know.
Can you roll a presence check for me, please,
I shall.
to make sure it doesn't fail?
I am not going to cast what I thought I was going to cast.
Would you roll?
A 7.
A 7. So that's total.
Yes.
So that fails.
Yes.
And where's the power things? Because I forgot what you do with powers. Roll a d2 for me, please.
1.
1. So you take 1 point of damage, As you do, it's kind of psychic. You start reading the scroll and you mispronounce a word and you feel this dagger like pierce into your skull as it pounds into your head, and you get this immense headache, and you start to kind of wobble and get dizzy for a second, and you take that point of damage, and you also cannot cast any spells or use any powers for 1 hour.
Rough.
If you do, it is an automatic critical failure, and you roll on the Arcane Catastrophe table. I'm prefacing that now so you don't try.
Yeah, but what if I do anyway? Could the catastrophe also hurt the monster?
I haven't read through all the catastrophes, but I would imagine that there is one that could potentially, if you roll that, could hurt the monster.
All right, I'll look into it.
All right, it's on page 45.
I've been there, guilty. I've been there.
All right. With that, Therg, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Now, two questions.
Can I get in the water? And can I swing my greatsword underwater?
No. Seeing my sister of Nechrubel attempt to cast something, can I identify what she was casting? Being of the same
roll a presence check with advantage. I'll give you advantage on that. If you would have done it deceptively, Törn, you can also roll a presence check, but I don't think you would have.
That was an 18.
An 18. Törn, what were you attempting to cast?
Death.
Okay. Next question. How close is everyone to this creature?
How close? Other than Kutz is next to one of the arms. Abhorred is maybe about 10 feet away from it. Nifehl is in the water with it. Really close. I think Törn is the only one who isn't within striking distance of it at the moment.
Knowing what Törn was doing and being of the same preferences.
Do it.
I would like to cast something from one of the scrolls I have in my little sack.
Go for it.
Dear.
Go for it. You pull out the scroll. You begin to read. Go ahead and roll a presence check for me, please.
That's a 10.
That's a 10. It will fail unless you have an omen.
I do have an omen. I have 3.
All right, you don't need to hang on before you roll, because you don't. One of the rules for omens is that you can just drop the DC by 4. You know the DC, the presence check for to use a power is a 12. So if you use your power or your omen to just drop the DC, it'll go down from a 12 to an 8, and you'll pass with your 10.
I will do that.
All right. What power are you using?
Death.
All right, so go ahead and roll your
4d10.
Go ahead and roll your 4d10.
Where are you aiming this death?
I'm aiming this at the creature's body, as far away from Nifehl as I can.
So the way that death works is that it's 34. So you have 34 points of damage.
No.
You
I'm
get
not rolling damage yet. Just saying. It's a 30-foot radius, I believe.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's 30 feet around. Or 30 feet radius, yeah.
Come on, 34.
$28.
28. So you have 28 points of damage that you can distribute anywhere you want within that radius, which is pretty much everybody except for Törn and yourself.
Hold on.
You have to use all 28. So for some reason you say 15 and the creature dies, then the remaining 13. Man, math, guys. The remaining 13 would have to be distributed amongst your friends.
I'd like to put the 28 into the creature. But
the full 28
left over.
All right. So I'm going to roll for its armor because it does get some armor. So that's 30. What would you say, 28? So
Yes.
26 now. Plus what he has going right now is 33? Yeah, 33 points of damage. You go, you begin reading the spell, the glyphs begin to go, and you watch as kind of as if it's a necrotic skull of death leaving from your eye sockets and from your mouth exhale as it blows out into and across the water. It impacts and it disperses across the top of the water. You can see veins of white and grays and blacks up the undead arms of this Persoctopus, as we're calling it, leading toward the central body. You watch as the arms begin to flail and shake. You can see the water ripple underneath from the sheer mass of the body portion of this creature, and the arms begin to retract into the water. And as they do, since it's its turn, you watch as Nifehl starts to get dragged into the water with it.
Oh shit.
It did a heck of a lot of damage. It is extremely damaged and hurt, and is what from you all see, not dead, but retreating into this recess. That's its turn. Nifehl, I need you to make me a toughness check as you go underwater. You are struggling to get one last gulp of air before you're brought under. You're muted,
Natural,
but I can...
Natural 20.
So you take your dog form kind of yelping and gulping air as you're trying to paddle at the top of the water. You watch as the last thing you see is the snout kind of get sucked in. Now, instead of only... if you would have just straight succeeded, you would have had one round underwater with it before you would have drowned. If you would have failed, you would have drowned instantly. But because you crit, you have 2 rounds underwater with it that you can try to escape, or you can fight it in some way before you drown and have to roll to see if you're broken or to see if you die.
Get out of the water.
So that being said, Kutz, you watch, and the arm that you put into the dagger, it just straight up just yanks it out, and there's a giant gash through the arm. It does take 1 more point of damage, which doesn't do enough, but it does pull through and start to slink back in the water. You can see kind of that ichor blood matter floating on the top, a nice trail kind of leading deeper into the water where you could potentially dive in and attempt to find the creature. But the water is dark, and it'd be difficult for you to do.
I think as soon as Kutz notices that her dagger is free of the creature, she would have immediately grabbed it and just tried to dive right after it.
Okay. So you dive in, you swim around. I'll allow you a presence check with disadvantage to look in the murky water to see if you can, as your bonus action.
I have a quick question, Fate Master. Did Nifehl just take his turn, or was that just?
Mm-mm. That was a reaction as the end of the creature's turn.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so with disadvantage, I got a 15.
A 15. Looking around, you think you see a tentacle floating in the space by you. You can go ahead and roll a regular attack roll without disadvantage.
Awesome, I'll do that. Let's see here. And it's going to be, it's +1, so 13.
13 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage with your dagger.
That will be 3.
3. So it will negate 1 point of that, but you watch as you slice through. You do lop off about halfway through the forearm. That arm that had drug in, you can feel a slight reverberation through the water, and a quick as
coming through the water garbled as the damage that you did is getting significant at this point, and this thing is frantically trying to get away. Abhorred, it is your turn.
Abhorred, with a forced smile, begins to slowly glide forward towards the water. As he does, every eye on his face, every eye on his body opens. His body begins to glow with this white electric energy, as his face now might look like an electric star, as I will hold my hand up hand down to the water as a cloud begins to form above me, as I will attempt to hold 9 violent signs unlock the storm to unleash havoc on this pool. I know I must roll to see if this gets backfired on me.
Awesome. All right, and what's the condition of you holding it? What's the trigger?
The trigger is I'm trying to wait for both Nifehl and Kutz to get out of the fucking water.
All right. So you will go ahead and roll your presence test.
So that's going to be a 13.
A 13. So you'll be able to do it and you'll be able to hold it. Now, this is kind of homebrew, so we're going to play with it and see how it works. But if you get to the start of your next turn and they are not safe, you have one or two options. Either the spell backfires on you or you cast the spell anyway. Those are your options. You can think about what you'd like to do, but as your turn, you move, you aim your hand down, this electric energy, this small storm starts forming in your hand as the electric energy is starting to build up. You're waiting for your friends to get out of the water. But if they don't, by the start of your next turn, you'll have a decision to make.
Yes, anyone who's outside of the water sees for the first time Abhorred showing a sign of pity as he is thinking over this decision.
All right.
I'm done.
Awesome. Nifehl, it is your turn. Kutz, you will also, the one thing I will say is you will also have to come up for water or for air your next turn and then go back down if you wish to go back down.
I suppose I will. So are my options like try and escape or attack, or is that sort of the same?
Yeah, attacking or escaping are both an action. So you can either attack. Essentially you're grappled. So you can attack while you're grappled, or you can, attempt to remove the grapple.
I will attempt to remove the grapple.
Okay, go ahead and give me a strength or agility test. Your choice.
Okay. I'm gonna go agility. 10.
A 10. A 10 is not enough, unfortunately, as the tentacle is still wrapped around you. Kick and you flay, and your claws are, or your paws, not necessarily your claws, but your paws are kind of patting against the tentacled arm. But you are unable to break free.
I think that's all I can do at the moment.
All right. You have one turn left until you are breathless. Törn, your turn.
I cast death again.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Are you stepping into the water at this point?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Go for it. That's an automatic. Yeah, it's an automatic fumble. So
3. Wait, do I get to add my presence to it?
To the D20 roll?
Is it just a flat D20 on the...
It's just a flat D20 on the arcane catastrophe.
Catastrophes.
Correct.
That's
so
me.
3?
I'm an arcane catastrophe. Yeah, that's 3.
Okay. It says your skeleton is possessed by some unearthly force and will do anything to kill you and escape. Drowning or piercing is preferred, so the bones are not damaged. Give me a strength test, please.
Sure. And as I feel this coming on, can I charge towards the Persoctopus?
Yes, you can. Go for it.
I love how this isn't even the finale and shit's just popping off.
16.
16. So you manage to withstand the need. Like it is you're in your head. You are hearing drown, 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 and you go, and right before your head hits the water, you go and breathe in. And as your head and your body is dunked into the water, you withstand the urge and hold in your breath and do not attempt to drown yourself. However, next turn you will need to make that save again, being in the intense moment that you are in.
I am flailing though. Like my skeleton is trying to leave my body, correct?
Yes, you're at this point like constantly like not wacky inflatable arm tube man, but like you have no control over your body. It was just a last minute like impulse. Your mind and your body, you managed to get control of it for a second and stop yourself from hurting yourself. Yeah.
Is it enough flailing to warrant like an unarmed attack on the Persoctopus?
Roll a d20 for me.
Okay. How violent is my skeleton attempting this escape? 12.
A 12. I'll give it to you. Go ahead and roll a d4. A 3 is a 1 and a 4 is a 2.
It's a 4.
It's a 4. It will negate one of those points of damage. So as you run in. Oh, that's 2 points of damage. So negate. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I thought 4, and I immediately reduced it to 3. So it's not. Yeah, it's 1 point of damage, not 3. So never mind. You are flailing, and you feel your arm lash out and hit one of these tentacles, and you feel the tentacle retract as soon as you do, as your hand touches it. Therg,
You better run.
it is your turn.
Okay. So I've just seen Törn run at this creature, looking a little bit frantic.
Yeah, everybody but you is, well, you and Abhorred, who's floating over the pool, are now in the water.
Okay. I'm feeling left out. So I'm gonna,
Come on in. The water's great.
I'm gonna go into my sack. I'm gonna pull out the small sealed bottle.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up to the edge of the water, look at a board, and go, "This is for my sister. I believe the term is Leroy Jenkins." Now I'm gonna jump at the main body of this creature, pushing the bottle out in front of me, so it makes contact. It is a bomb,
Okay.
by the way, for those wondering.
Make an agility test for me, please.
It's a 13.
13 will be enough.
So
What does the bomb do?
it's D10 damage.
All right.
And
Go
can
ahead
I use
and-
an omen to max damage.
You can omen to max damage.
So that's 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. And since you are in the blast radius and you are the only person in the blast radius, you watch as you run into the center and you're like, "This is for my sister." And you dive in, you kind of light the fuse on the bomb as you're diving into the water. It lights, goes into the cork. And as you are going toward the head of this creature, you watch as the 8 heads and bodies that make up the main body of this creature all towards you, and some of the tentacles are starting to move and drift closer. The rest of you around, either underwater or above, see boom as this explosion occurs and the white kind of rippling water emanates across everybody or across the pool, and you see the kind of the mushroom cloud of water or mushroom fountain appear out of the water, and then slowly chunks of body start to come to the top. Abhorred. Technically, you are still holding the spell, so what would you like to do? Actually, I'm sorry, Kutz. Kutz, you get a chance to do something before a board spell would go off.
Oh, probably would have begun.
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Danny, do your thing.
Oh shit.
I don't know. I don't have the PDF open, so you got to tell me what you got to roll.
How much damage did I take?
You took all. You took the full 10. Yeah, you each.
Oh, no,
it went.
I can only roll a d6.
Yeah, that's not gonna
No,
happen.
never mind. Then you're dead then. Bye.
No. No.
All right, Kutz. I apologize.
Oh, it's not a problem. Kutz, once that explosion happened, probably would have just started swimming away from it as quickly as possible.
Okay. Yeah, you can quickly get out of the water swimming, getting to land. But Abhorred, it is your turn next.
He's gone. He's dead. I know he's gone. It's dead. Do I see my friend swimming around the water alive?
So you see Kutz swim out of the water. You see Törn, who behind you now is in the water and like half submerged. And then you also see in the pool, you see some water lapping. You don't see Nifehl coming up out of the water yet, but you can see movement coming from under the water that would suggest there is something down there moving.
With my body still rippling with this electric energy, and I hold this spell that I normally don't. I hold onto it as much as I can to try to make everything safe, and in doing so, a storm cloud appears in the room above me as I hold the power, and it grows and grows. After I see the ones that are living and I see what might be my friend living underwater, I have made my decision. My hand is no longer pointing at the water. It kind of just falls down lip, and it's almost vibrating. When you look at it, it's it looks like there's a couple of hands there, just by the energy that's moving. And I'll look over to the friends that I see. I'm happy that I didn't have to kill you. And the lightning bolts hit me.
As you take, and I rolled for this, 9 points of lightning damage as both bolts coalesce into you.
I fall
and
to
strike down to you.
I fall to the ground.
Are you below 0 hit points?
I am not.
So you hit 0.
I am not at 0.
Oh, you're not at 0. Okay, good. Cool.
That was for effect.
Aboard floating. I was like, oh, he's not floating. He must be dead. Awesome. So you fall into the pool and are kind of floating, half laying, like floating at the top of the water.
As I float there, there's a huge smile on my face. And that's it.
Awesome. Nifehl, tentacle unwraps itself from you. You swim, gasping for air. You guys are all out of combat. Everybody is up either on the top of the water or out of the water, except for one. Therg, your brother of Nechrubel, who, as you can see, floats lifeless up to the surface.
On my way over swimming, I'll just like grab some like cloth or by the leg or something, and swim his body to the edge.
All right. You swim it to the edge of the water. You guys all kind of group up around him. Not Törn.
Is my
What's Törn?
skeleton still trying to drown me?
No, it's only in, according to the wording of it, it's only in intense moments. So once combat's over and everything settles, the condition is still there. So if you ever get into another intense moment, it'll trigger. But yeah.
So I should probably retire. That's what you're saying.
Ivan should probably take what money Ivan could find and retire. Yes, maybe.
I'm definitely keeping this house in that case. Anyway, go on.
All right. You guys all gather around Therg's body. You have two choices: to swim through the grate or to go through the passageway up back into Wastland. Or go back into the house. The choice is yours.
I think we should check the last room in the home before we leave it. We still have a job to do.
Again, jobs imply payment. All we have found is of our own volition. You all can go right ahead. I'm feeling the quieter life pull at my bones.
Okay.
I look around to everyone and see what they say. I wait to see what they say.
That's
Yeah, I can go look at that other room if you'd like. If it makes you feel better about it while you rest.
It would.
Sorry about your brother.
you
Yes,
dive
Rebecca.
back. You dive back into the water and swim to the grates, able to shimmy your way through given your small form. You have to take a deep breath in and dive underneath to find another air pocket. As you do, it's only a couple of feet before you feel the cave above you open up. As you open up and climb out of this small little pool, about you-sized pool or hole into this smaller cavern. You are in complete darkness. You take a minute and pull out a torch and light it and kind of Indiana Jones look around the room. And in this maybe about 20 square foot cavern, you see a hoard of silver, of ivory, you can see a couple things made of gold. And looking at this trove of Svens, you think either you are gonna relax very, very comfortably, or the four of you that will remain will have a decent retirement fund.
I think I will go over to the pile and try to take a couple handfuls of what I can fit into my pockets.
Okay.
And I will dive back down under and notify the rest.
Okay. As you come back out and show, and this time you kind of are pulling distinct pieces, opals and rubies and a handful of silver. You pull out, you show them like a golden candlestick that was in there. You guys all realize the treasure that you have acquired. It'll take some time diving in there. The danger now passed in this chamber. The Persoctopus being the guardian of Sven's hoard. It'll take you some time to get this hoard out. But you can all live peacefully until the end of the world. And that is where we will end this Trials of the Damned. Actually, no, we won't. Danny, if you would be so kind, can you roll a d4 for me, please?
Wow. What a episode this was.
1. Can you roll a d6? Five. Okay, go ahead and roll me a second d6.
2.
2. A reading from the calendar of Nechrubel, the nameless scriptures transcribed by Anuk Schleiger the monk. Psalm 5, verse 2. The trees shall wither, shrivel, and die. A second misery has befallen this earth. Only 4 more, well, 5 technically, until Nechrubel reclaims his kingdom. And that is where this trial will end. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for Danny with his whole whopping 2 hit points for doing the Leroy Jenkins thing.
Wow.
And our next session will be on December 17th. It will be the culminating the final one shot of the Trials of the Damned season 1. So, Danny, any other announcements? Any other things we need to get out there?
Not at the minute. I think everything else will be posted in social media as they get.
Awesome.
I never thought I would. Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
Okay. I never thought I would see the day that Abhorred would be sad. That I was not expecting that one.
Abhorred sad? No way.
Yeah, it's kind of that was the moment, because he likes, once you're their friend, like you're their friend for life, and they will fight and die for you. So
Pale ones are very, very emotionally clingy to people that they've just met.
I didn't even know that. But, yeah,
that's actually a thing.
So yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys, and until next time.
Bye.
You